What's up, guys? It's your girl Haley Pearl, aka the SoundChick, here again, bringing you another awesome interview. Today I'm talking with a rap artist called NATE The Martian. Nate and I actually went to school together, which is kind of funny that I'm interviewing him now, but hey, I gotta show some love to my boy. So if you like rap or hip hop or enjoy music of that nature, I would definitely check out this interview. He's really cool and he has a big announcement in the interview. So keep on listening.
Hey yo, what it do? It's your favorite main protagonist, aka the Black Etano Ken, aka the Louis Vuitton Flip Phone Classic Cause He Fancy, aka Nate the Martian. And I'm right here with SoundChick. Follow me on Instagram and SoundCloud at KingXMartian. And make sure y'all follow me on Twitter at Nate_the Martian. Say word.
It's obvious that we're in this sort of crazy moment in time with the whole pandemic, and now we've got, protests and riots going on, but I think people want to know most is, how are you doing?
I'm doing. I'll at least say that. Being an artist during these times is pretty crazy, because what a lot of people don't know is you could have so many streams off a song, but you really not making anything, because artists gain their money from touring, performing, and things like these. So it's nobody can do anything now, so it sucks. I even had a whole show planned out that I put together with a bunch of artists, a venue, and everything, but then COVID happened and then just said, you're not doing that.
Yeah, what was that like, having to not be able to do that tour?
I mean, to be honest, it was a show, rather. I had set it up, and I was really disappointed, because with a lot of the stuff that I've been planning, and I've been meaning to, actually perform, because the last time I performed was 2 years ago or so, when I went to a performing arts high school, because I'm 20 years old, going on 21 toward the end of the year. It's just it really did suck. I was well, damn, all right, well, I'm gonna figure something out.
Even though you're not able to perform in person, are you still finding ways to stay musically active, like writing new music, making new content, that sort of thing?
Constantly. My home studio is pretty much just my setup. So it's just kind of it's nothing big, just, an interface, a microphone, and my laptop, which I'm talking to you on now. So that's literally my entire studio. But I mix and all these things just to keep myself busy. And especially with quarantine and with, being in a lockdown and everything, I had a lot of time on my hands. So I was able to really sit down and focus on doing more things.
What can we expect from Nate the Martian in the future? How soon can we expect new work to be put out to us?
August.
Awesome. That's exciting.
August is something I've got coming out. I'm announcing it on July 1st. But, by the time this interview comes out, I might as well just say it. I'm putting out an album. The album is called Heartbreak Radio. Funny enough, one of the reasons, why I was inspired to, even make the album, or at least the concept behind it, was because I was in mass communications. And, going to Jacobs Building constantly, all the time, just being on the radio and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. So I gained an affinity for radio. And I'm sure you remember, when I was there, everybody says, you have such a good radio voice. People constantly were telling me that, just because of the tone of my voice. So I was like, all right, cool. And I just ran with that. But funny enough, how I get most of the ideas for my projects is I take pictures. I look at a picture and then I come up with something from that. Literally, you can trace the beginning of when I started working on the album to a picture I saved on my Snapchat. Because all I did was put the caption, 1-800-HEARTBREAK Radio, we listen to your problems. And then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this, but I'm gonna expand on this a little bit.
That's awesome. I really like that you find your creative mode and outlet through pictures and images. That's really unique. But going back to what people said with you having a radio voice, I know you've been on radio quite a bit. How was that experience?
Well, it was different for me, just because, I can be the first to say I can be a bit of an attention whore. I like attention. I do. It's a good time. So being heard on the radio and people knowing oh wait, I know that voice, it gave me a sense of confidence, knowing that I was putting my voice out there and people actually liked it. Funny enough, when I came back home to Ohio just to get myself together before I moved back to Georgia in the coming months, I went to Ohio Media School. During one of the trips, we went to the radio station and we recorded like liners and all that, which would be aired. Mine tended to be universal, and so they would play it over and over and over again. And then I would hear so many people who I haven't talked to in years say like, yo, I just heard you on the radio. Yo, that's crazy. But after you hear it so many times, it's like, yeah, cool. I'm doing better things, but it's like, yeah, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Did you meet any cool people or artists while working on the radio?
Well, I'll say that I wasn't working on the radio as far as like big name radios. I did for a time run a show on an online internet station called Cincy Underground, and what I did was I played a lot of the music that I liked, you know, stuff I would find on SoundCloud, people who would send me in new music and stuff like that, like a lot of my artist homies.
So going back to NATE The Martian as a project, is there a unique story behind that name?
Here's how I actually got the name. When I first started rapping, I, like many young kids, was following the trend, and my first ever rap name was Young K. First ever rap name. I'm so embarrassed about it to this day because it's just so basic. And then after that, it was like, all right, Young King, the rapper. And I'm like, all right, cool. But then sophomore year, it was like sophomore year, I really was pushing people to just call me Nate. So just like, just call me Nate, just call me that. Me in high school, I was a drifter. So I never had like a set group of friends. I could fit wherever I wanted to. I was pretty much an outcast, and I'm a Scorpio, and the Scorpio's ruling planet is Mars, and I associated like Martians with an outcast. So I was like, all right, Nate the Martian, and that's how I got my name, and I have ran with it since.
That's pretty cool.
It's I don't really tell this story often because nobody really asks. Everybody just assumes that's just always been my name, but no.
It's a cool story for sure. What do you feel is your biggest accomplishment as an artist, as of right now?
Oh, God, I have no clue. I feel like my biggest accomplishment as of right now is the time and effort that I've put in on my album, because I've never spent this long on a project. Because most of my projects I spend a couple months on, blah, blah, blah. But this is like my debut album, to where it's like I have been working on this. The concept started when I was in school, like top of the year. So like fall 2018 is when the concept came about. I started working on it on and off toward the end of the year. And then I started working more through 2019 and officially started like recording like songs summer 2019. And then since then I've just been working with my main producer Smile Dust, and we've been making like a lot of dope things and experimenting with a lot of different sounds. And I guess I could say that the most thing that I'm proud of being an artist is just how much I've grown in the past like time just working on this project, because I've used it as an excuse to play around with different sounds.
For sure, I got you. I know you personally, so I know that you were working on music when we were going to school together, and I know that you still are, furthering your education while still doing all of this.
You know what's funny? Like, I was the only one on campus who actually, like, recorded music. Like, I had my studio set up in my dorm and everything, but, like, nobody on campus wanted to record, and that made me so upset.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like I was the only guy on campus who really did music, with the exception of a couple other people who I found.
Yeah.
But I had to go out and find them, and it was just like, But gift and a curse, because it gave me more time to just, like, sit to myself and just, like, learn how to actually record, but still.
For sure. What's it like having to juggle personal life and music life?
Personal life and music life? You know what? I don't juggle it, honestly. It's hand in hand for me, because my music is my life. Like, my music is, like, my entire existence. There are things that I've been through and situations that I've gone through that without my music, I would just be, like, a mess. So, like, I needed this outlet in order to put my emotions into context. How do I say it? It's like, I'm one of those people is like, I can tell you everything that is going on in my mind with a song, but as soon as you try to get me to speak my mind and just, like, talk, nothing makes sense. Can't articulate it properly unless I have music, and it's bad.
For me personally, I usually like to speak using songs, or I'll use lyrics, or I'll link people with songs that help express those emotions. So I think that becoming more common maybe, but I also think that it's really good for artists to be able to express themselves using music.
I'm big on how I can apply psychology to a lot of the things that I do, because the human brain is just like so interesting to me, and just how the brain responds to certain sounds in music is just fascinating. Like, different tones and different things will elicit different responses, and like I use that knowledge and I try to apply it to my music, because I don't put it out there that much, but I have synesthesia. So sound is like color to me. When I listen to music, I see color. Or when I listen to music, I hear color. Like, this sounds like a color to me. And then when you actually go back and look into color theory and what these things mean, they actually make sense. It's just really interesting, and I love it so much. Like, I feel like a lot of artists really have synesthesia, but they don't know it.
Yeah, I could see that. I really want to know, what is one song of yours that you tell people to listen to all the time, that encompasses, you were so proud to put this one particular track out?
I know the one. It was Chest. I really liked putting out Chest. Chest was like one song that, here's the story behind that. When I recorded Chest, I was at, Brunel at the time. Sometimes on the weekends, or almost every Saturday for a time, I would pack up my studio setup, walk over all the way to Jacob's building, and then set up my studio in like the soundproof rooms with the padding. And I didn't have headphones at the time, really, so I had to use like my Apple headphones to record. And it was so like rookie. But after recording it and everything, I was like super proud of it. I showed my friends, and then they were like, this is super good. Then I made a music video to it to really portray the story. And the funny thing about that song is every lyric in that song, I predicted what was going to happen to me before it actually happened. And it threw me off when it happened like a month or two later. So that's what it really was. And I was just like, what? Like, wait. I don't get it. But hey, I guess some things are just too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence. You feel me? And that throws me.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question for you. If you had any advice to give to any upcoming artist, what would it be?
Any upcoming artist?
Yeah.
Well, I will say that I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know shit. I know nothing. I'm still constantly learning. So go into art with the mindset of, you know what you know, but there's always room to learn more. Like, you have to be sure to humble yourself. Because if you don't, and people try to give you these criticisms and try to help you out, you remain stagnant. You'll never grow as an artist. There are things and songs that I've made that I'm like, oh my God, I'm super, super proud of this. And then other people are like, nah, you can do better. And if I had sat there and said like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, I wouldn't have made like the better things that I make now, because I didn't take what they said into consideration. Because there's a difference between somebody just like hating on you versus somebody who actually like cares about your craft. Like, I know you can do better. So I just say, take it all in stride, really. If you don't, then you're gonna get nowhere. And that's the shittiest part of it all, because if you're an artist, you want to constantly progress. You want to constantly create. You want to constantly put these things out into the world, because people and humans need emotions, and they need visuals. They need ways to express themselves, because a world without art, honestly, isn't a world at all. And that's why I am so adamant about working with other people, surrounding yourself with good vibes, and knowing what works for you. The world is vast, and there's not just one way of thinking. You apply that to art, okay, that makes sense, that doesn't. So it's always never have like tunnel vision. Tunnel vision will just be your greatest downfall. I had to learn that the hard way until some people like pulled me out of it.
For sure. I have one last question for you, and I hope it's gonna be a fun question.
Ooh-wee. You love those.
I do. So, I know you freestyled in the past.
Oh, God.
Do you want to freestyle for us?
Oh, fuck it. Alright, I need something to go off of. Let me see.
Play a beat, dude. I don't care. Go for it.
Oh, God. Legit. Like, I have a whole playlist on my SoundCloud of, like, a bunch of old beats that I used to just freestyle to, just for fun. So let me see. This one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Shit. Okay. Wait. Hey. Nate the Martian, he got freedom tatted on his body. He got koi mixed with God on his tat. Whatever. I'm cutting. Oh, fuck. Hold up. Let me see. Oh, shit. I'm talking with the SoundChick and we just vibing. I'm just sitting in my game chair. Yeah, we vibing. I just do what I do. Fuck the timing. I do whatever I please. You know when I'm rhyming. I really freestyle for fun. Really have my rhymes, they sound hella dumb. Unless I write them down and then I'll be going to town. And then I'll put my enemies in the ground, you know, click the pow. I hit them with the shotty. I tell them that I'm godly. I do not understand what you gonna want from me. I do whatever I please, my G. Nate the Martian say word, what the fuck you mean?
All right. That was awesome.
Those are always fun.
A major shout out and thanks to Nate the Martian in order for working around this pandemic to bring this awesome interview out to you guys. If you enjoyed this interview, I would definitely stay tuned for his debut album releasing soon. In the meantime, rock on, my dudes.